Hmm. Well, I know it's Saturday here, or Sunday there, but that intro always puts me in a Sunday state of mind. Like I like it.
Mm,
I do.
it is a very relaxing
It is.
intro.
It is. I just love how you and Christopher did that whole thing. Like it's so cool. Yeah, improv at its best. You know.
Hmm.
So good morning, sir. It's,
Good morning.
it's dinner for me here, but actually I got up really late, so it's really not dinner. But yeah, the East Coast for most people who don't have the crazy schedule I have, it is dinner time. But
And it's
this,
brunch for me.
yeah, we are starting our new series today. Mm,
Yep.
it is a long one. it,
It's gonna be a real long one.
and I have to admit, you're like dragging me kicking and screaming into this one, aren't you? Because
Little bit, yeah.
yeah, a little bit. Because I've been just a tad resisting, like because this
Mm.
one's rough. Like this one has such a reputation. You know, for those of you just tuning in or tuning in later, this is the 48 Laws by Robert Greene that we're going to be talking about. And it's
Yep.
been around since what, like the 1990s or something like that, like for a while. I forget when it came out, but it's been around for a while, and it's got quite the reputation of like,
That's an understatement.
yeah. We might as well just dive right into it, right? Let me just bring up the presentation and we'll just read the stuff that we have because I, hmm.
It was published January 1st, 1998.
I was close, wasn't I? I said it was in the 90s, so there you go.
Yep.
At least they hit
So
it.
back when we only just had power and the light bulb hadn't quite been invented yet.
What? Get out of here. Listen, youngin. listen, listen, don't get me started. Yeah. Hello, Wild Darling. Book lover, thank you for being over on Twitch and holding it down over there. Nice
Welcome.
to see you. And welcome,
Hmm.
Wild Darlings. It's always nice to see you, love. I hope you're well. I hope everything's doing well. So, all right, let me just crack on the first slide here. I'll let you read it. Oh, see, I should have just pulled this up first. You wouldn't have had to Google. There you go. Since you found it on Google, you can read the first slide.
The 48 Laws of Power. Overview of the book. The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene is a provocative and controversial exploration of power dynamics that has captivated readers since its publication in 1988 in 1998. The book distills 3,000 years of history into 48 strategic principles designed to help readers understand how to acquire, maintain, and wield power effectively. Green presents power as an amoral force, neither inherently good nor evil, that permeates all human relationships and social structures. The book's central premise is that power is a game everyone participates in, whether consciously or not, and individuals must choose between being a power player or a pawn someone else is playing with.
Hmm. And that, to me, that's the saving grace here, because like some of this stuff about being the power player can be quite aggressive and a little too sharp around the edges for me. Like a little, pushing the point a little too far.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
the important part is if you don't actually understand what the power players are doing, you're at their mercy. So like understanding the game and understanding all of these laws and finding your comfort zone with some of them, so to speak. Like I wouldn't look at it as a how-to book for sure, because the world would be full of sociopaths if everybody did this. And I'm not going to say that most
Yep.
people don't. Like, I mean, we will recognize a lot of these laws and a lot of things that happen to us around us, and we'll recognize the people using them and not, or the
Mm,
situations that use them and not. I'm sure. So it's going to be great for discussion. But I don't want anybody to think that we're up here promoting it as a how-to do anything, because it is an
definitely not.
yeah, it's an exploration and an understanding in what Robert Greene was trying to put out there, and how he's definitely taken a lot of heat for this. A lot of heat. Like this became very popular in the criminal element, did it not? Nate? In
Yes. Yeah, it did.
so popular that it became so popular that some prison systems actually banned it from their libraries and stuff. You weren't allowed to bring it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in prisons.
You know what, Miss from YouTube, when everyone is a sociopath, nobody is. You're right. You're right. It gets hard to recognize them when everybody's doing the same thing. I kind of
Hmm.
feel that. I feel that. Although your name is cracking me up, I'm not going to read it online. I'm not pulling the comment up, because if you could
I
do
know.
that,
I
that's
know
some
the reference. Nice.
That's
I love it.
it's. Do you know the reference? Because I'm going to say that's some talent if you can do that. If you can do that, that's some talent. Maybe you can explain the reference to me later. Don't do it now. Yeah, yeah. But let me read the second one, and then you can go on with the third. So the core philosophical framework. Yes, I use the word philosophical. Don't run screaming into the bushes, people. It's not going to be that deep. We're not going to start, quoting Aristotle and all this other stuff, or try to get you to, do the Kent rhyme and all of that. There's just
Yeah.
going to be minor references because it is a philosophical work. It does go back thousands of years into history, into the art of war, into, the way things were done in the courts, thousands and thousands of years ago. But the book operates on several fundamental assumptions about human nature and social dynamics. And Robert Greene's big on human nature and social dynamics. Okay. So the first one is power as a universal drive. Greene draws heavily from Nietzsche's concept of will to power, arguing that every organism has an inherent desire to expand beyond its limits. This drive manifests in humans as a need to influence others and control their environment. And I'd have to say all of us have to agree with that one, right? Um
Absolutely.
absolutely. Power is a universal drive. Our personal power, our power in social groups, our power at work, we're, it's a thing. Power is a drive. It's like free will, right? It's the need to control our environment and to feel like we're safe, we're taken care of, that we have some control of the situation. It's a given. I mean, it's in everything we do, is it not? Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm. Hey, Lucky, thanks for the drive by before going to bed.
uh,
Will you let Rekkr and I's sultry tones just drift you off, like the two of us together, like it's like, well, the second one is deception as natural. Okay, I got a little issue with this one, but I do have to kind of agree with it. We'll go. The book emphasizes that deception is at the heart of power dynamics. Green argues that successful power plays require strategic misdirection, concealment of intentions, and careful manipulation of appearances. I have to say, it's used all the time in business. It's used in social dynamics. It's used in
Hmm.
friendships. It's used in everything we do. I get that. But deception to me,
I,
it may
I
be it may be natural, but I'm going to push back on it. It is my trigger. Deception is something I don't tolerate very well at all.
I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think to be honest, I don't think deception is in. I mean, it's natural as in it exists, but I don't think it is a natural way of being when interacting with people. It's,
It,
I
I hope
mean,
not. Yeah, because
plenty
I'm
of
the
plenty of people have been very successful or managed to make it through into really good positions of power without being deceptive entirely.
I will say, I do see it a lot, and I understand that deception is necessary. In that there's no way to eliminate it. I mean, 100% full transparency is not always the best way. Although I would
Mm,
say in my social interactions, and my personal interactions, I really have no tolerance for it. Honesty is always the best policy. I can forgive anything. I can go anywhere if you are totally who you are and being honest about it. But then again, deception as a natural kind of does have its place. I think we talked about this behind the scenes as an example, a salesman. Okay. Now,
mm,
when you're dealing with a salesman, they're being honest that they're trying to sell you something, right? So they're
yep.
natural. That's natural deception in an honest kind of way. I know that's an oxymoron and it sounds a little contrived,
Um,
but you know
I
what I'm
think
trying to say?
deception here is being used a bit too broadly. I
Hmm.
think what we I think what we were talking about was more manipulation. When we were talking about the salesperson.
Yeah, but even the salesperson, they are being deceptive when, like, they're not really telling you honestly about the product. Like, they know all the faults of the product, but they're not being honest about it. Like, like, and I'm sorry, salesmen
Yeah.
don't think it's the best thing since white rice, whatever they're freaking selling. So, like, I do think there's like they're just naturally deceptive in this way, and they're
Oh
dealing
yeah.
with you.
No, that like
But
as people go, salesmen
yeah,
are.
right. But
I
here's the
y-
thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I ha- I believe it or not, I tried being a door to door salesman at one for
No,
a brief stint.
no. Are you,
Yes.
are you pulling my leg? If
No.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
You know what? I did not know this about you. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around that one.
I was terrible at it because I took one look at the at the catalog and I was like, I can buy all of this from Temu. Wait,
For the
this is from Temu.
yeah.
And
That's why I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it, because you're one of the most deadpan,
I
honest
was
people
I
I've ever met. Like,
I was
I,
a terrible door-to-door salesman.
I-
Absolutely atrocious. I
good.
think I made like I think I possibly made w- two sales, maybe. I two,
Wow.
maybe one, or maybe more, maybe less, but like every sale felt dirty.
Um, you know what? I could see that. I could see that. But you get what I mean. Like when we think of the word deception, it's not a favorable word. Although we have to
Mm.
admit it exists everywhere, and we're not
Oh,
always very
absolutely.
honest. Like your friend, when you like, okay, we're gonna use the old man woman thing. When you walk up to your partner and say, "Does this outfit make me look fat?" You know, or and you gotta,
I'd say I don't
yeah.
know.
And you say, I don't know.
That is a
Like,
loaded
it's
question, and I
loaded,
am
right?
not
So, like,
even going near the
so
trigger.
exactly, you know what I mean. It is just like, when you leave me hanging for like 2 hours and then you come in and you go, "Are you mad?" And I'm like, "Nah." But like I'm being a little deceptive because underneath I want to like smack you right in the head for making me sit there and disrespecting my time. But then I'm like glad you showed up. So I'm like, okay. Nah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. that kind of deception is like, I guess it's prominent everywhere. We all do it a little bit. Nobody's 100% transparent or 100% honest all the time. If you think you are, you're lying to yourself and you're being deceptive to
Mm,
yourself, because we all naturally do it a little bit. You want to spare somebody's feelings. You may be deceptive by lying by omission, just not saying stuff. Um,
mm,
anyway, deception is organic in that way that we all do it. But when they use it in such a manipulative way, that's when I have a little bit of an issue with it. Like in some of these laws we
ye
talk about are gonna get there, but let's carry on to historical patterns, Mr. Rekkr here. Green
mhm,
grounds each law in historical examples spanning from ancient civilization to modern times, demonstrating how power dynamics have remained fundamentally unchanged across cultures and centuries. And I have to give him that. He proved that throughout the book over and over and over and over again. He proved it in the 50th law that we just did. That the power dynamic in the need to actually accomplish these things to move ahead has not changed at all. The way we
yep.
talk about it has changed. The examples and the things we point to about it or our real life situations may have changed, but actually the way it's done, it's not been changed across cultures and centuries, not at all. Like, your turn.
Strategic deception and misdirection. The book emphasizes concealing true intentions, creating diversions, and maintaining strategic ambiguity. Law 3, Conceal Your Intentions, exemplifies this theme by advocating for keeping people off balance and in the dark,
Hmm.
which I mean, as I said before, I don't think that's necessary, entirely necessary.
Mhm.
Um, I think if you find that you're doing it more often than you're not doing it, you're probably you're probably you're probably not a very good person.
You're probably, yes, if you're not doing it selectively in regards to
It
a goal or a project, you're probably not a good person. You're right. You're probably secretive. You're holding back. You're probably not living in your life to your fullest. You're pretty much on the sociopath path. And
mm,
your social interactions are limited. You're not having honest discourse. You're not having true relationships. You're not giving, you're a taker, period.
Mhm.
I mean, that's my take on it. Like, that's the cold truth when it comes to me about it. If that's what you're doing. Um, yeah. Go on with number two. These are the key themes and concepts by the book, because we thought it would be best actually just to lay out the premise of the book first before we cover the first law. Um, and just hit, kind of address the elephant in the room right away, which is all of the things that people talk about with this book that are not actually on the great side, but it can be a very valuable tool of discussion and opening.
Absolutely.
And if anything, it's going to get us all to look at these issues and to modify them and balance them to fit into our life, because some of it is very, very useful. And there's no denying that they strategically will get you farther ahead in whatever your goal is and get you your power. Totally.
100%.
Hmm.
The next is relationship management. Green presents a cynical view of human relationships, arguing that friends are more likely to betray you than enemies. The book advocates for strategic alliance while maintaining emotional detachment. And like I said in the background, when we talked about this in the background, I I think that there is a kernel of truth in that, the but the premise that your friends are more likely to betray you kind of falls under the same category as you're more likely to drown if you're in a boat on the ocean. It's
Yeah.
it's not it's not so much it's not so much that your friends are going to be um are inherently bad, that all friends are inherently bad. It's just if you make a lot of friends, you're going to run into some that aren't really there for
True.
the friendship.
And even simpler than that, the reason that they're more likely to betray you is because if they're actually a friend, they're closer to you and they know more information about you, they know what's going on, and they have more ability to actually hurt you. You don't bring your
Mhm.
enemies in. You don't actually, people you're working with, whatever like that. No matter what they do, even if they do the same thing that the friend did to you, like talk some shit or take the last piece of your pie or try to date your girlfriend, that's not going to matter as much as if when a friend does it, it's a betrayal. When somebody on the outside does it, they're just a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So you see what I mean? Like, so that's why I draw the line there. That doesn't mean I'm not going to have friends. Okay. It is a
Mm.
risk. Having close personal relationships can hurt you, but you get more benefit. I truly believe you get more benefit out of it than you do pain. Uh, I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
even the worst heartbreak we've ever gone through, did it not teach us something? Did we not grow? Did we not, you can't toss away all the good, because you can't hurt that much if you didn't love that much. You can't hurt that much if you didn't connect that much. Do you know what I mean? And so there
Mm.
was growth and there was like good things like all in there. I really I know that sounds like I'm wearing rose colored glasses, but I truly do believe that. It's kind of, for me personally, it's kind of like when you think about grief. Grief hurts a lot. It is because you
Mhm.
loved a lot. It's because that love's got nowhere to go right now. You know.
Exactly.
So,
No, you're
but it
right.
doesn't mean just because you're hurting and you're grieving over something, it doesn't mean it wasn't worth it. You know what I mean? Because of
Mm.
course it was. It wouldn't hurt that much if it wasn't. Seriously.
Exactly.
If it didn't matter, it wouldn't hurt. If it didn't matter, there wouldn't be the transition. So I do agree that you should not tell everybody everything when you're trying to accomplish a goal, because I have learned when people know what you want to accomplish, they're going to try to steal it. They're just going to try to do it. They're going to think it's a great idea. They're going to try to beat you to the punch. Or if they're those petty, jealous types that I've run into out here, they're going to try to get in your way and ruin it for you
Mhm.
because they just can't stand to see you have it. And I'm sorry, that's the reality of the world, especially out here on the socials. Those people exist, and they exist in mass quantity. Um,
Yes.
and that has been the hardest lesson I've ever learned out here. So, in a way, I agree that it advocates for strategic alliances while maintaining emotional detachment. When it comes to what you're trying to accomplish for the goal, you don't make it personal. The only people that are involved are the people that actually benefit you as you're moving forward with it. I get that when you're oriented towards a specific goal. As a way of life to be powerful, I'm not so sure I'm on board with it. It sounds like you only want to have people in your life that do something for you. And again,
Exactly.
that makes you a taker, not a giver. And life is all about balance. If you're
Mm-hmm.
too much of a taker, karma eventually is gonna come up. You're gonna be missing out.
Yep.
Just my opinion. I'm gonna let you finish this because it's all the same thing. Like,
Image and reputation control. Several laws focus on controlling how others perceive you. This includes managing your reputation, creating compelling spectacles, and sometimes appearing less capable than you actually are.
hmm,
Um, mm, that, I mean, that makes sense. To be,
it does. Yeah.
yeah,
See, some of it's good. That's why I'm here.
yeah.
Even though you dragged me in here kicking and screaming, that's
Mm.
why I'm here. Yeah. Hmm.
The next one is emotional manipulation. The book teaches readers to work on the hearts and minds of others by understanding their psychological vulnerabilities and emotional triggers. That's the one that I believe we were talking about. The
That's
salesman.
yes, with the same. You said, like, if he like sees that, like, like when he's a people reader. Good salesmen are people readers. Like, they can tell where your vulnerabilities are right away. They start with flattery
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. And some people in general are. And when they use that against you to get their goal, like that, they mm, mm. But is it not done on a regular basis in mass advertising, in the media, like everywhere? Aren't we doing it right
Absolutely.
now? Aren't we
Mm-hmm.
actually in some way doing it right now when we're coaching our language in our conversation to entice people to listen or to give feedback? And so, like, everybody does it to some level. It's not always.
Fundamentally, what we're uh, to to put it plainly, fundamentally, what we are doing is essentially emotionally manipulating.
Mhm.
Like right now, we're putting our own perspective into our own interpretation into the book to um e- essentially manipulate the audience into seeing that the book isn't inherently
Mhm.
uh, evil, or
Evil.
well, not evil, but yeah, evil or bad. There
Yeah.
is there is positive in it. Uh, and that is fundamentally a form of manipulation.
Mhm.
There's no two ways about it.
Yeah,
It
I think when we talked about it, didn't we talk about emotional manipulation can be good or bad, just like deception?
Yes.
There are some forms of it that are a little bit good and kind, and there are some that are just straight out wrong and evil. Like, and you've got
Well,
to kind of balance it a little bit. Like,
a good example of positive or a good form of manipulation would be um trying to manipulate your friend into not peeing on the electric fence because it's going to end poorly.
yes,
Um,
yes,
I've
okay.
never succeeded in manipulating someone into not doing that. It's always ended with "I'll be fine." Ah!
Okay, that's a good one. But let's say a negative manipulation would be trying to convince your friend not to talk about our personal lives while we're out at the bar because I really don't want the chicks I'm hitting on to know I'm married.
Mm,
That
exactly.
okay. So, okay. Craig me up. All right, next.
True story, by the way, about
Which,
the electric fence.
oh God, that's more
I've
information than
never
I
been
need to know.
married.
I have so many questions to ask you now. All right, we definitely have to talk after stream now.
Mm,
Oh my God. It's nice to see you too, Mrs. Cassandra. Thank you. Hey, Jen.
mm.
And
Hey,
hey,
Jen.
Shill. Thanks for being here too. It's nice to see my mods. Thank you, everybody. Everybody coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. New people, old people. We're glad to have you here.
Exactly.
Oh, and don't get
Okay.
caught by the kissing cam, Mrs.
Yeah,
Cassandra. Yes. I so want to do a what the F this week. I've got
that
stuff. I have
that
stuff.
was kind of impressive. I can't believe someone was dumb enough to be like, "Oh yeah, it'll be fine. Let's just go to a public show
Yep.
together."
And the story gets worse. Like, let's go there publicly together with the person I just promoted to be the head of HR who knows you're not supposed to be dating anybody in the company. And let's just
Yep.
cuddle for the camera without our spouses. Like, yeah.
Mhm. Right next
Lovely.
to another employee.
Who was just like when they saw it up there. Yeah, but that means that
Mhm.
people knew about it. Like they, he stepped down, and I think she's actually going to get. How can you be the head of the HR department and do that? Like that's against policy to date within the company without
It
reporting it.
it's in the name.
It's in the name.
I'm just gonna leave that there.
What's what's his name? I must have missed it. Okay.
Being the head of the HR department.
Oh. Okay.
Anyway,
Number five. Number five.
ability and timing. Green emphasizes the importance of flexibility and strategic timing. The final law, assume formlessness, advocates for remaining adaptable and unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Cool.
that's
Actually, that was good because that was a very hard one for us in the 50th law, but we got it. We got it. Like never changing, right? Like always going with the flow. Thank you so
mhm.
much, Jill. I'm gonna put this up because it's a member thing. You are so good at these information cards. You make it so easy to relax and listen. Keeping. Aw, thank you, thank you. I'm glad it doesn't sound too eggheady. Like Rekkr tones me down because like the instructor in me takes over and I want to like do like this whole like thing. But yeah, we try to make it a little, little less than that. But I do agree. Some of
Yeah.
these laws are very, very practical. Like a formlessness means, like the other one when we did the 50th law, which means changing to the situation, making flow, not being stagnant, growing. You
Mm,
can't sell the same product over and over again. It's got to be improved. He's got to, keep moving on. And, times change, people change, trends change, we change. You know what I just learned? Like, I remember this and I thought, I should have brought this up when we did the 50th for that one. But did you know that our cells turn over every 7 years? Like your hair changes, the tone of your skin, all of that.
uh,
You have a
I
complete cell
believe
turnover.
different parts of the body turn over at different rates.
Right. Well, in cosmetology, this was a cosmetologist that told me like this your skin will be different in 7 years. So like you can't use the same cosmetics you used your whole life. You can't use the same moisturizers or, techniques. And your hair, your products for your hair and everything. Every 7 years, the texture, everything is like just somewhat different. Yeah. I
Hmm.
kind of believe that. Like, you know,
I do believe it is the skin that is the one that does that. Oh,
seven
the
years.
skin. It
Yeah.
is 7 years. Yep.
Oh, there you go. Well, your skin is on your scalp, so that would affect your hair for sure. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sure, I'm not a very good note taker. I do all this from the audio. I had a little bit of cheating help. Rekkr found the audio book of this, and then I do use tools to help me with the analysis and everything. And then I piece together like seven different things to make the slides. And then I just create my own draft of it in a document, and I read it with Rekkr, and then we decide which part of it will be slides and which part won't. It's like a process. So, but thank you. I'm glad it works for you. And by the way, for everybody listening, the presentation is always linked down below, and it'll be in every single one, and it'll be an ongoing compilation from each stream, just like in the 50th law. And we also link to the PDF book down there for you too if you want to read along. So, all right, we ready for the next one, Rick?
Yep.
Oh, ethical concerns. Of course, I'd get this one. Of course, I would,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm having an issue. The book faces significant criticism for promoting manipulative and unethical behavior. Critics argue that following these laws can lead to moral bankruptcy in a worldview that ignores ethics, prioritizing individual gain over the collective good, encouraging deception and manipulation in relationships, and creating a society built on lies and distrust. This is what my issue was. This is what I came to Rekkr with, and I said, do we really have to do this, because these are my issue? They're like boom boom boom, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know how I am about the greater good, right? Like, I do believe that some self-sacrifice is necessary for the world to be a decent place. It's just the way it goes. We can't all
Absolutely.
we can't all be me oriented 100% of the time. I understand that that's in our human nature, and we should be. We need to protect ourselves. It's dog eat dog out there. It's still, I mean, it's not like when we were
You do
cavemen.
you do need to be able to look after yourself first.
Exactly. And you got to,
Of course, that
of
like
course.
we're not saying it's we're not saying like completely sacrifice everything, have suicidal empathy essentially, but don't like uh continually walk all over everyone.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, like, some of the ethical concerns, I mean, you would agree, like, uh, they're well founded when you go through the
Oh,
book, and
absolutely,
and we'll
100%.
and we'll address them as they come up, and do a fresh take and try to do a balanced approach to it, and see how we can adapt that rule in a less razor sharp way, so to speak, with less
Hmm.
bloodshed. We'll dull
Yeah.
the edges a little bit, make it a little less painful to get through, because there is a kernel of truth in all of it, and it does work. Okay. But it's, what do you want as your end result? Do you want the quick positive gain and then have everybody cut you off for the rest of your life? Or do you want to get like some of the gain on a slow, steady base and have people still want to deal with you afterwards? Um, think of crypto as an example. Okay. I know some people are going to come at me for this, but
Hmm.
it's like in the crypto world. If you're going to be one of those poor people that puts it out there and does the rug pull, and just makes your big money really quick, which is possible, just know that you're going to have the reputation for doing that. And most people aren't going to want to deal with you after. Like, burn me once and then get the hell out of here. You're going to keep, you got to actually, for crypto to work, you have to think that the whole world is full of suckers, because the more you do these stuff, right? With these coins, these
Mm-hmm.
meme coins and this stuff, the less people are going to want to deal with you. And you're going to have to keep changing your name. You're going to have to be a new entity, whatever, because no one's going to, you burn somebody for a couple of grand or even more. They're not going to come back to you for an investment. They're just not. Okay.
Nope.
So eventually it dries up. So these people are taking the big risk and burning it just to get the big gain right away. But it's not a long term plan for sure. Okay. And, karma's a thing. Eventually they're going to hold back. And if they don't have a way to make money, well, there's going to be a problem, isn't it? You know, it's not always the best plan. I know why they do it. but there's risk there. There's great risk there as far as reputation and integrity. And believe it or not, I'll get laughed at. I know it. But in business, it does matter eventually. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It, it matters. Okay. If you want to be like a fly by night kind of company that makes a few million and then disappears, that's for you. But the big, big companies that have been around forever, is because reputation and integrity actually matter. And the way they do shit
Hmm.
actually matters. Okay. It does. I mean, it does in the end. Uh, at least that's my take on it. Some people won't agree. Well, here's yours.
Psychological considerations. Some critics view the book as a psychopath's guidebook, arguing that it promotes toxic relationship patterns, paranoid thinking about others' motivations, and exploitation of human vulnerabilities.
Yeah,
And they're not wrong. They are absolutely right. It can essentially be used as a psychopath's guidebook.
it basically
Um
tells you to trust no one. That everybody's out to get you, and you better get them first. You know,
mhm.
like that's it. That's This doesn't make for a balanced life. I mean,
No,
you know, I mean, I understand that in business sometimes you have to be the shark. Sometimes you have to be the bear, and other times you got to be the sheep. But like, you got to balance it out because this is real life. It's not all business. It's not all power is in everything, but power doesn't dominate everything in our life, does it?
no, it doesn't.
Yeah. So I think that's
And
how.
it
Yeah.
it really just falls onto a semantic argument of
Mm-hmm.
how power is being interpreted in said situation. Um, when we were talking in the background, I believe it was about this panel specifically. I um I had said that um I actually look at the book. I don't actually look at the book as a guidebook, but more of a book that sort of describes things that are already observable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like uh, I use the DSM-5, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, say someone in the mid go back to the 1800s, early 1900s. Someone running down the middle of the road butt naked, screaming at walls and telling people um that they've seen demons and spirits that speak to them would be called crazy no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely no matter what. However, as we learned more about how the human mind works, how certain certain behaviors correlate to other things. Certain symptoms relate to certain certain mental states.
Mm-hmm.
We start to be able to name them, and we've actually put names to them. Like, for instance, the person, depending on what the symptoms are, could be schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what the symptoms are, it could literally just be a stress-induced psychological break.
Yep.
Could
Or
be
drug induced
um
or anything. Yeah.
drug-induced psychological break. Yeah, could be
Mm-hmm.
bipolar. Could be any number of things.
Right.
Um, and that's how I sort of look at the 48 laws. It's more, it, to me, it's more of a diagnostic book where you can say, hey, this person is exhibiting these certain things. Oh, so this
And and
it correlates to this behavior.
right. And how does that apply to me? And what do I need to do about it? It
Yeah,
actually
and
helps you protect yourself from becoming victims of these patterns and victims of these
mhm.
techniques and and like it says, you're either the person with the power in the situation using power to get ahead, or you're the pawn that they're using to do it. And so if you don't want to be the
Exactly.
pawn or at a loss, you have to recognize what other people are doing. You don't necessarily have to do it, but recognizing these situations and understanding these laws and how they're applying and how people are using them can help you actually navigate some of the harsher realities of the way things are, especially now in 2025. When there's less to be
Hmm.
had, there's more aggression and grabbing for it, isn't there? And so as we're moving forward in the world, and I think this is true or in every country right now, not just in America where I'm from, but also in New Zealand where Rekkr is from, and other countries like Belgium and Germany and UK. I do believe that the world is getting a little harsher in tightening up, and there's less to be had. It's a little harder to get ahead, to get a good job, and to get all the things that people may want: a house, a roof over your head, the picket fence syndrome, the wife and the two kids, and all of that. Whatever. It is a little more difficult to navigate our 24/7 life. Okay. So this like when there's less to be had, people are more aggressive in trying to go for it. So when they're going for that brass ring, so to speak, that best job at work, that promotion, things like that, people are a little more aggressive and a little more non-caring about it because they're a little more me focused because it's harder to take care of me. You
Exactly.
you get what I'm saying? Like it's
Hmm.
and so that's why, even though this book is from 1998, it's very relevant right now just because of what's going on around the world, you know, just because of the situation that we all are in, you know, every day. Eh,
Exactly.
next one.
That we do.
So we take the defensive perspective, which we just brought up, like we just did this
Hmm.
panel. However, supporters argue that the book serves important defensive purposes, which Rekkr just brought up and we just expanded on. Recognizing that manipulation tactics to protect oneself, understanding power dynamics that exist regardless of personal preferences, navigating competitive environments more effectively. Like we can actually understand and use these tools to recognize to move forward without actually doing the tools, right? We don't have to be
Exactly.
aggressive to recognize aggressive and work our way around it. We don't have to. We just need to know the power dynamics, know the play, know the situation. What was that one rule in the 50th rule? We got to read the room, right? We got
Yeah.
to know what's going on. We have to be dealing in reality at all times, right?
It's it's a good way of learning valuable lessons without having to experience them.
Exactly. Like we don't have to agree with what's going on. We don't have to condone it, but we need to recognize it and we need to see it for what it is. Okay.
Hmm.
We absolutely can't avoid any of that. That's the only way you get through. That's the only way you keep your power in and move through and make sure that you're getting what you need out of your life as a whole. Not just in business or getting ahead or a job or school, just as a whole. So we covered that one good,
Yeah.
and this one too, like the which is yours.
Modern relevance. Despite controversies, the book remains influential across various fields: business and leadership development, political strategy and campaign management, entertainment industry negotiations, academic study of power dynamics, and academic study of power dynamics. The book in the book's enduring popularity suggests that power dynamics remain a fundamental aspect of human interaction, even as specific applications may be ethically questionable, and
That's
that's
right.
true.
They still
Hmm.
exist. We see them every day. We see them in political and entertainment every freaking day. In
Yep.
business and leadership, unless you're actually in the middle of it, you don't see it as often. But we definitely deal with it with number two and three constantly. Like we're exposed to it constantly. Oh, look, we're finally getting to the law. So for our first law, which is we're going to call it chapter one, which is law one, the breakdown of never outshine the master. The law
Hmm.
explained from the book, it states that The law states, always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please and impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. You could inspire fear and insecurity. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. And from this is going to be you, right? Because first you read the
Yes.
slide, and then we're going to read the story right from the book. We're going to get right into the book now. Well,
hmm So the historical example is Nicola Farquest or Farquad.
is it
Farquet?
is it like Lord
Farquet?
Farquhar? Is it Farquhar? I don't know. I have no idea.
Farquet?
I don't have any idea how to say it. Farquhar, I think. I'm not sure. Is it
Farquhar.
French? I'll look it up if it's French.
Probably. Transgressions of the law. Um, I'll read it while you're looking that up. Transgressions of the law. Nicola Farquhar, um, Louis Louis the XIV's finance minister in the first year of his reign, was a generous man who loved lavish parties, pretty women, and poetry. He also loved money, for he led an extravagant lifestyle. Farquet was clever and very much indispensable to the king. So when the Prime Minister Julius Ma- Mazarin died in 1661, the finance minister is expected to be named. Um, the finance minister expected to be named the successor instead. Um, I believe that Nicola Farquhar. Instead, the king
You're saying
decided
it
to.
right.
Hmm?
You're saying it correctly, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead, the king decided to abolish the position. This and other signs made Farquhar suspect that he was falling out of favor, and so he decided to ingratiate himself with the king by staging a most spectacular party the world had ever seen. The party's os- ostensible purpose would be to commemorate the completion of Farquet's chateau, um, Victom, but its real function was to pay tribute to the king, the guest of honor. The most brilliant nobility of Europe and some of the greatest minds of the time, La Fontaine, La Rochefoucauld, uh, Madame de Séveraine attended the party. Molière wrote a play for the occasion, in which he himself was to perform at the evening's conclusion. The party began with a lavish 7-course dinner featuring foods from the Orient never before tasted in France, as well as new dishes created specially for the night. The meal was accompanied with music commissioned by Farquet to honor the king. After the dinner, there was a promenade through the chateau's gardens. The grounds and fountains of Vaux-le-Vicomte were to be the inspiration for Versailles. Farquet personally accompanied the young king through the geometrically aligned arrangement of shrubbery and flower beds. Arriving at the garden's canal, they witnessed a fireworks display, which was followed by the performance of Morelli's play. The party ran well into the night, and everyone agreed it was the most amazing affair they had ever attended. The next day, Farquet was arrested by the king's head musketeer, de Artanan, Ar, Ar,
Italian. Yeah.
D'Artagnan.
Yeah.
3 months later, he went on trial for stealing from the country's treasury. Actually, most of the stealing was accused he was accused of he had done on the king's behalf and with the king's permission. Farquet was found guilty and sent to the most isolated prison in France, high in the Pyrenees Mountains, where he spent the last 20 years of his life in solitary confinement.
Damn. For throwing a damn good party. Well,
Hmm.
hmm. So
And the
you're gonna do.
interpretation is uh, Louis Louis XIV, the Sun King, was a proud and arrogant man who wanted to be the center of attention at all times. He could not countenance being outdone and in lavishness by anyone, and certainly not his finance minister. To succeed Farquaad, Louis chose Jean Baptiste Colbert, a man famous for his parsimony and for giving the dullest parties in Paris. Colbert made sure that any money liberated from the treasury went straight into Louis's hands. With the money, Louis built a palace even more magnificent than Farquet, the glorious Palace of Versailles. He used he used the same. Oh, that's the wrong thing. He used the same architect and garden designer. I'll leave it there.
Mhm. Oh, that's cool. That is a good story about how not to overdo your boss. Like it's risky,
Exactly.
very risky. So that is the bad way to do it. Like that's how not to do it. Like, well, there's a way to. There must be a way to actually use your talents and actually be cautious about it, have it benefit you in the long run. And that is what the next one is going to be about. That was the historical example, Nicholas Foucault. But the positive example is going to be Galileo Galilei, observance of the law. We're going to read from the books on the PDF pages 26 and 27. And it gives us the image at the end of a little poem shaped like a sun. The stars in the sky, there can be only one sun at a time. Never obscure the sunlight or rival the sun's brilliance. Rather, fade into the sky and find ways to heighten the master star's intensity. So they say, let me just pull up observance of the law. See if I can make this bigger. In the early 1600s, the Italian astronomer and mathematician Galileo found himself in a precarious position. He depended on the generosity of the great rulers to support his research, and so, like all Renaissance scientists, he would sometimes make gifts of his inventions and discoveries to the leading patrons of the time. Once, for instance, he presented a military compass he had invented to the Duke of Gonzaga. Then he dedicated a book explaining the use of the compass to the Medicis. Both rulers were grateful, and through them Galileo was able to find more students to teach. No matter how great the discovery, however, his patrons usually paid him with gifts, not cash. This made for a life of constant insecurity, independence. There must be an easier way, he thought. Galileo hit on a new strategy in 1610 when he discovered the moons of Jupiter. Instead of dividing the discovery among his patrons, giving one the telescope he had used, dedicating a book to another, and so on, as he had done in the past, he decided to focus exclusively on the Medicis. He chose the Medicis for one reason. Shortly after Cosimo I had established the Medici dynasty in 1540, he had made Jupiter, the mightiest of the gods, the Medici symbol, a symbol of power that went beyond politics and banking, one linked to ancient Rome and its divinities. Galileo turned his discovery of Jupiter's moon into a cosmic event. Oh, damn it. I'm sorry, the page just jumped on me. I hate that. He turned it into a cosmic event honoring the Medici's greatness. Shortly after the discovery, he announced that the bright stars, the moons of Jupiter, offered themselves in the heavens to his telescope at the same time as Cosimo II's enthronement. He said that the number of the moons, four, harmonized with the number of the Medicis. Cosimo too had three brothers, and that the moons orbited Jupiter as these four suns revolved around Cosimo I, the dynasty's founder. More than coincidence, this showed that the heavens themselves reflected the ascendancy of the Medici family. After he dedicated this discovery to the Medicis, Galileo commissioned an emblem representing Jupiter sitting on a cloud with the four stars circling about him and presented this to Cosimo II as a symbol of his link to the stars. In 1610, Cosimo II made Galileo his official court philosopher and mathematician with a full salary. For a scientist, this was the coup of a lifetime. The days of begging for patronage were over. In the interpretation of these, in one stroke, Galileo gained more with his new strategy than he had in years of begging. The reason is simple. All masters want to appear more brilliant than other people. They do not care about science or empirical truth or the latest invention. They care about their name and their glory. Galileo gave the Medicis infinitely more glory by linking their name with the cosmic forces than he had by making them the patrons of some new scientific gadget or discovery. Scientists are not spared the vagaries of court life and patronage. They too must serve masters who hold the purse strings, and their great intellectual powers can make the master feel insecure, as if he were only there to supply the funds, an ugly, ignoble job. The producer of a great work wants to feel he is more than just the provider of the financing. He wants to appear creative and powerful, and also more important than the work produced in his name. Instead of insecurity, we must give him glory. Galileo did not challenge the intellectual authority of the Medicis with his discovery or make them feel inferior in any way. By literally aligning them with the stars, he made them shine brilliantly among the courts of Italy. He did not outshine the he made the master outshine all others. That's a very good example. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like that one.
It is excellent.
Isn't it? Yes, it's like so. We have two good examples. You don't throw the biggest party ever and do more than
Especially for someone who's a jealous type.
yes, like the King of France was the god. The Sun King when he made Versailles, like that was the place. Everything was shiny like gold. It was the Sun Palace, for the Sun King. Um, there was a whole series about that I watched. It was fascinating. It was fascinating. But he definitely was an egomaniac. He definitely was that king. So then we come to the part of the authority on the book. Okay. And this is one of the things they'll bring up for every law. For the authority for the law, the first law, is avoid outshining the master. All superiority is odious, but the superiority of a subject over his prince is not only stupid, it is fatal. This is a lesson that the stars of the sky teach us. They may be related to the sun and just as brilliant, but they never appear in her company. Balthasar Gracian from 1601 to 1658. And I'll let you do the reversal. Always a good one.
The reversal. You cannot worry about upsetting every person you come across, but you must be selectively cruel. If your superior is a falling star, there is nothing to fear from outshining him. Do not be merciful. Your master had no such scruples in his own cold-blooded climb to the top. Gauge his strength. If they are weak, discreetly hasten his downfall. Outdo, outcharm, outsmart him uh, in key moments. If he is very weak and ready to fall, let nature take its course. Do not risk outshining the feeble superior. It may appear cruel or spiteful, but if your master is firm in his position, yet you know yourself to be the more capable, bide your time and be patient. It is the natural course of things that power eventually fades and weakens. Your master will fall someday, and if you play it right, you will outlive and someday outshine him.
Exactly. In other words, like you don't want to be known as the one who toppled them, because then you're next, right? There's a bunch of mistrust that comes with that, right? Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily think. I think the way that this is um framed is sort of I mean, it obviously has a negative connotation of like, well, go for the throat kind of dog eat dog type of um mentality kind of thing. But I also think that this is a really good um a really good lesson in humility and remembering and not so much trying to I guess it's a good example of not trying to come off as the smartest person in the room all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And because then the people who are the smarter people, who are probably smarter than you, might be less likely to even consider giving you help or consider like teaching you because I mean, who wants to teach someone who's cocky and arrogant, who thinks that they know it all? I mean, who wants to teach someone who knows it all? They clearly know it all, so
Right.
what
Right.
is there to teach them?
Mm-hmm.
And it's yeah, it's a good lesson in not not alienating yourself before
Mm-hmm.
uh, alienating yourself to people who may be uh, your superior before you're even able to let them be your superior.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. When I hear you reading that, I immediately started thinking of some of the lessons we learned in the 50th law, like making sure that you're available to take opportunities that are present to you, like reading the room, knowing the power dynamics, but being
Mm,
prepared to take the opportunities if the person at the top starts to slip up, just slightly letting you know your skills and stuff like that. So you could be in the running for that position. Like there's no problem with that, but not so far, but also tempering when to use aggression and when not to in going
mm,
after that position so that it doesn't look like you just tore somebody down. Is it,
mhm.
make yourself available for the opportunity if it presents itself, right? And use a little bit of aggression in letting it be known that you're capable, but don't be the one to topple the person because that will follow you and you'll be the next one that they all you know, come for on that. People
Your
may not want
fall
to
may
work
be
with you.
worse.
Right, because people will be watching themselves. They'll be thinking you're out to get them all. If you would do that, then what wouldn't you do? That's the thing. So you got to temper it. You got to be careful. And that was some of the things that the 50th law taught us, like how to do that. Be selective in the aggressiveness. Be ready to be as aggressive as you need to be, but not always be that way. You know.
Mm.
Um, Thank you so much, Shill. Just gifted 10 memberships to the channel. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank you.
much. Yeah. I think that I did see that somebody's having trouble with the commercial breaks in there. YouTube, there's a minimum amount that YouTube puts on no matter what. And I think Mrs. Cassandra is right. It's selective. Some people get hit with a lot one day, and then the next day they get hit with none. So I don't know. Like, there's no way for me to regulate that one. I do have it on for minimal, that they, the least that they would put on. So I don't know what to say. I don't know how much I can change it. I'll check the settings though again. You know. Mm. No, yeah. Thank you for understanding.
Mm.
Okay, so after the reversal, we have the core principles of Law One. Just like to review on some of the stuff from before that we talked about that the book was going to go into in general for each one. So the first one is to recognize the power structures. Understanding who holds power and where they derive it from is crucial. You must identify the key players and their relationships within any organizational hierarchy. And we were just talking about that in relationship to what I was thinking automatically from what we learned in the 50th law, right?
Mm-hmm.
And manage your superior's ego. People in power positions need to feel secure, superior, and deserving of their status. When they feel threatened, they're going to lash out against perceived challenges to their authority. You know, if you start acting like they don't deserve where they're going to be, they're going to go out of their way to prove it by exerting their power against you. Okay. You want people exerting their power with you and for you, not against you. Like that's the trick in business. Let them have their power and don't get in a position where they feel like they got to use it against you because it's never going to be good.
Yes.
Right? And here's the one you're talking about all the time: strategic humility. The law advocates for strategic restraint in displaying your talents. While you shouldn't hide your abilities entirely, you must present them in ways that enhance rather than threaten your superior's position. Oh, you get the long one. You ready? Can you read it? I know it's kind of tiny, but
Yep. Key points. Power dynamics are unavoidable. Everyone exists within a hierarchical structures, whether in work, relationship, or social groups. Absolutely. Um, every everything is
yep,
some form of a power dynamic if you really want to make it.
exactly. In that power fluctuates in relationships back and forth too, in the best relationships, right?
Mm,
Somebody has more power or not in different in that ebb and flow is what makes relationships long term. It makes things work.
exactly.
Yep.
Insecurity drives negative reactions. When superiors feel threatened, they may sabotage your opportunities or remove you from their sphere of influence. Once again, it's knowing when to show your
Hmm.
abilities. You can outshine accidentally. Sometimes natural talent, competence, or charisma can inadvertently make superiors feel inadequate. Yes.
Hmm.
Strategic presentation matters. Frame your contributions to make your superior look good while still receiving recognition.
That's a true art. Like that is definitely
Mm-hmm.
the best thing you can do in business, especially when you're working with a team, is to always, even though you are achieving a goal or you've got the talent or you're the one doing the project, is to always give credit around, bring people in for even the smallest part of it. Don't leave anybody out. It only makes you look better. It's a little bit of humility and humble. Take some of that like star shine off of you, like, and spread it around a little, so that the people at the top aren't like gunning for you. It's just like you look more like a team player, and that can't go bad in business. It's almost crucial. You know.
Exactly. Timing is crucial. There may be appropriate moments to demonstrate your full capabilities, but these require careful judgment.
Mm.
Make yourself valuable, not threatening. Position yourself as an asset that enhances your superior success rather than competition. And expectations exist. If your superior is weak and falling, the law may be reversed, but this requires careful assessment,
Mm-hmm.
as it always does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there is definitely an act to it. It's like most things. It's just finding the balance in it. You know, you don't want to like be the butt kisser either. Like the brown noser for the boss. Well, you got to find a way to hold your own, but not outshine them. And that can be
Exactly.
to take a little bit of maneuvering and a little bit of careful consideration. It you just have to look at the whole picture and find your moments. Because we all don't like the butt kisser at work either. The brown noser. The,
No.
the the yes sir, whatever you want, sir. like
Mm-hmm.
that person's not very popular either. So
Nope.
there's got to be a fine balance, like with the whole part of it. So then we move on to the practical applications of the law, like in a way to actually to do this, which I find to be in each chapter the most beneficial part, because you could talk about the law all you want, but if you don't give a practical application on how we're going to use it or how it actually relates to anything that we're all doing in our lives, it's like not it doesn't mean anything. So for practical application in the workplace, it's a good idea to share your ideas in ways that credit your boss leadership or build upon their concepts. Avoid stealing spotlight during presentations or meetings. In other words, um, you don't want to be the only voice heard. you know um you want to contribute, but you don't want to overly contribute to the conversation.
You don't
Right.
want to dominate the conversation.
Right. Right. You want to, like, if the boss asks you a question, you want to answer concisely and everything, but you don't want to show off in it. uh but so you got to balance it. you know uh, in mentorship relationships, show respect for your mentor's expertise while demonstrating your growth under their guidance. In other words, always referring that the mentor is the one with all the knowledge, but look, I'm learning what they're taught me. Like, they showed me this and I'm learning, and this is how I'm using it. Um, because that flatters the mentor in a way. That shows that you're paying attention and you're growing, but you're not overshadowing the mentor. Like, they're still the expert, so to speak. This is very important when you're when you're learning, like, say, in university, right, Rekkr? Like, you might
Mm-hmm.
understand a math problem even better than the instructor at one point, right? But the last thing you're going to do is get up there and do it like you did it better, right? You're just going to show them that you got what they were, like, you understood what they were putting out there. You're not going to take
Exactly.
it away. You're not going to take it away from them. And in music too, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking up to a instructor for your vocal coach, right?
Absolutely.
No matter how well you learn the lesson, you're not going to go in there and oversing the coach, right? You're going
No.
you're going to you're going to show them that you've learned from what they taught you, and look how well you're doing with it. But it's still not like they're still the best at it, so to speak. They're still number one. Like, but look at how you're growing and using it, and it was so beneficial for you. And that flatters them and makes them feel good, but they're still on top, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. In social situations, allow others to take the lead when appropriate, especially when they're in positions of authority or have more at stake. When it's important, when it's going to mean, and when it says when you have more at stake in social situations, that also means when it's going to matter more to them, when it's actually going to make a difference more to them. Um, in friend situations, in parent-child situations, in like sibling situations, and all like that. We often find, like, when we're like doing things together, if something means more to somebody else, you may want to give them the lead on it. You may want to even let them take the credit for it if something goes successful, when it's something that really means so much to them. What's it going to hurt you? Really. Um, Letting others take the lead is something for some of us can be hard, especially when we don't think that they're doing it the same way you would do it. What it doesn't necessarily mean they're doing it wrong. They're doing it their way, you know. Um,
Exactly.
I struggle with that sometimes, and I think some of us do when we do something naturally in a certain way, and we think that that's the best way to do it. We have a hard time adjusting to people doing it the other way. But it doesn't mean it's wrong. There is no right or wrong way to do a lot of things. Um, and sometimes it's just more beneficial for you to let them take the lead and do it there, and just do it that way. Especially if the outcome is going to be the same anyway. It's going to be a good outcome either way. You know, you get more of a positive response, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As long as um, unless everything, unless everything is everything leading up to the correct answer is absolutely diabolically wrong. Generally, as long as you get the result needed,
Hmm.
it's it's good.
Absolutely. Don't sabotage your project or your end result to please another person. Absolutely. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you're going to get the same outcome anyway, it doesn't really hurt to give the other person an edge up, especially if it means more to them, you know, or not. You know what I mean? Like that's like, but yeah, I agree with you. If they're just bollocks about it, like no, just make sure that everything's going to come out okay. If you have to take the lead to make sure it's going to come out okay. Because you're all going to
Hmm.
get, aren't you all in a social situation going to get judged on the outcome anyway? So you might as well make sure,
Exactly.
guarantee it's going to be a good outcome. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, you definitely want to do that. Well, and that is it. Now, that is it for the presentation part of this.
Hmm.
Like, so that, we did good. An hour and a half. I thought we would be here till midnight. You know,
Yeah.
I did. Um, so, but uh, you know, now that we've gotten through the concepts and everything, I'm feeling a little more comfortable. Like, you
Me
know,
too.
you probably won't have to drag me in here next Saturday. I'll probably show up without the rope. You know, like, but
So I can
no,
untie you now.
yeah, you can untie me now. I kid. He's really not like that. But I did resist this idea. Like I thought it was a great idea at first, right? I was all on board, and then I listened to the whole book, and I was just like, "This goes against everything I stand for. How am I going to do this?"
Hmm.
Like it bumped up against some of my personal beliefs and about integrity and fortitude and honesty, and I had issue with it. I did. Like, but then I said, well, there's got to be a way because I don't think they're telling us to just be liars and cheats. I, I
No.
think, I think in a whole, the book says there's a time and place when lying and cheating may be necessary to do something you need to accomplish, and you need to recognize when other people's are lying and cheating on you,
Exactly. Yes, you
right?
do.
And
Hmm.
yeah, so how was it for you?
It was quite good. Like I like being able to l- I guess in a way we're kind of playing devil's advocate,
Mm-hmm.
and it's quite fun to be able to take something that looks or has a perception of being uh inherently wrong and
Mm-hmm.
actually taking the time to sit down, look at it and say, "You know what? There's some good lessons in here."
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mousy says, what is it?
Mercury in
Mer-
retrograde.
Oh, that explain. You know what? Yes. So, what a great time for us to take such a controversial topic, and be stuck with it for 47 weeks, because there's 40,
You
40. Well, 47 more weeks. This was the first one, because there's like, unless we end up doing two laws a book, we have to see like how much there is to cover with each law, because remember we covered the whole book in the first part of these, and then we just did the law. So
mm,
maybe we do two. We'll have to look at the next ones and see. Because yeah, this is gonna be a project each time. But yeah, aren't we kind of crazy during the retrograde to take something on like this?
I don't
But
even know what that means.
well, it's an astrological thing when everything's in retrograde. Like things become chaotic. Like up is down and down is up. Like because things become more stressful. You know, and stuff like
Oh, so my life is in retrograde. That makes total sense.
jeez. No, okay, right. That's not exactly what I meant, but okay. Yeah. I think it's. What it would mean is if we're starting it at retrograde, it can only get better as we go, right? It can only get better as we go. If we're starting in retrograde, right? Week to week, it can only get better as we move out of retrograde, right?
Exactly.
There we go. See, positive spin there, record. There's always got to give it a positive spin. Right? Mousie's like, she's like, look what she started. And she said, it really is a great book, and I think everyone should read it even during retrograde. You might toss it a couple of times during retrograde, and people have to duck. But, you know, yeah. It does make for great conversation, though. And you know me, I like having those conversations.
It does make for excellent conversation.
I know, and you're inspiring me, dude. Like your life might be in retrograde, but look at you, like getting me into all the ethical and philosophical concepts of a rapper who writes a book about his tough drug life, became a businessman, and now I'm here with the human aspects of the evil sociopaths with Robert Greene in the 48 Laws.
Mm-hmm.
That- like that's this tech is the main thing. What in When my computer went, I had already known others who had their computer go out as well as their power outages. And then there's cray cray out in the YouTube. Oh, you mean for the retrograde? They do say that electronics have issues during retrogrades. I don't know about these, but there is something to say about electrical current between the whole universe, like some type of connection. I think we talked about this before, Rekkr. And I'm not getting all woo woo. Like, I hate woo. I do hate the woo. Hate is a strong word. Let's just say I'm not a fan of the woo. It makes me crazy. But I do believe that we're all connected in some way by this current, a current of some type. And so I do believe that there is possibility that the theory or the concept of the planets being in certain positions could disrupt certain currents in the universe, so to speak. I'll go that
I
far.
guess in
That's
a
it.
at a very, 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 very small level, everything is fundamentally connected. I
Hmm.
mean, it, the gravity of Pluto in some tiny microscopic way affects the Earth, just like the gravity of each and every person affects the Earth in some tiny way.
It's possible. Hmm. Yes, I can, Maggie. Hold on. I'll get it for you right now for the members who joined. Hold on one second. Maggie wants the Discord link for membership. Oh, mhm. There you go, Maggie. There you go. Okay. That is for those of you that got your membership today, for the 10 that got the membership from Shill, or for anybody else who is a member who hasn't joined already. Welcome. But I do believe, like you said, that they're connected. But there is the thing. You know how, like, if the sun is in a certain position, sunspots affect electricity and cause brownouts, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Solar
And,
flares, yeah.
yep, and stuff like that. So I do think there's something to it. I really do. But but before we get all into all of that woo, I guess we should wrap this up then for the day before we get all in woo and we get kicked out. Like, it's like,
Fair.
yeah. So what do you got going on for the week?
I'm gonna be starting back at uni next week. Well, tomorrow. In a couple days, I'll be back at uni. I will be working on that electricity.
You'll be working on electricity, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And well, I mean, I have my archery competition coming up in under a month now, so I'll definitely be doing more shooting and stuff.
Oh yes, there is that. Like, you should drop your Ko-fi in the StreamYards chat so that it goes to all three for that,
Okay.
please. Because I think that,
Yeah.
yep, that is for just for your travel expenses to get there. That's the end of August. Yeah.
Yeah. Travel and
Hmm.
accommodation.
Thank you, Kirk. You corrected me. It is solar flares, not sunspots. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I got that all messed up. And definitely not a scientist. I'm definitely not. I definitely misspoke on that one. And hello, welcome. It's good to see you. And you know what I wanted to tell you? I wanted to say that I did watch Sinners, and I watched it with a few people, and we all think that the 10 minutes of best cinematography that you were referring to may be that dance sequence that they were doing around the campfire when they were going through history. Man, was that exquisite. If it isn't the best 10 minutes you're referring to, I got to say it is one of my favorite parts of the movies, and I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. So I hope you're still here to hear what I said, and you can let me know if it was. Oh, it was? Okay, good. Yes, it was so good. And what a great take that movie was on an old classic. That's all I'll say in case people haven't seen it. But they definitely need to check it out. Hey, empathy, respect. How you doing? Good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Accidentally commented with uh as you with my Kofi.
what? You what?
I forgot that when I put a comment in the StreamYard's chat, it comes up as you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine because I would support you anyway. How do you like that? Like, so it doesn't matter. Like, I would definitely do it. You know. Well, wait. What? Oh, so now you didn't like you deleted it? Why? Like,
No, no, it's there. I put it. I dropped it into the chat.
I only see it in Kick. Why do I only see it in Kick? Oh no, it
You need to
actually came
scroll
up
up.
all the way. I see. It went all the way across. Okay.
Yep.
Yup. That is Rekkr's fundraiser, so to speak, for travel expenses to the archery event at the end of August.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see Sinners, book lover? I'll send you a link. Shh, don't tell the internet, but I'll send you a link, book lover. There you go. Anyway, it was great. We watched it like a group of us. In Mr. Mayor Kirk is right. That scene was exquisite. You know how I love special cinematography stuff. That scene, dancing through history and the overlay and everything on that movie. This is the Michael B. Jordan movie we're talking about, Rekkr. It was really, really good. You got to see it.
Hmm.
I don't think you joined us. Did you join us for that? No, I think you were
No.
studying. No, it was exam week. You
Yes.
couldn't really join us. Yeah. But
That's
you
right. It was
are
exam.
you are responsible for us being able to watch it
Mm-hmm.
because you're like my ninja amongst the web. You're my web ninja. Like, yeah, dark web ninja, whatever. You could find a link to anything.
Pretty much anything.
Yeah. No problem. Oh yeah, 48 laws are crazy. I'm doing a 4-part wrap on the laws, 12 at a time. The idea of giving minimal information and keeping people guessing makes so much sense. Never outshine masters. Very good advice. Hey, thanks for that. You're doing a wrap on that? Hold
Absolutely.
on a second. I've got to see if I can pull up that channel and post the link for everybody. Hold on. Go to channel. Are you going to put it on your are you going to put it on your YouTube? It's been a while since I seen you. Because I used to see you all the time over on at Heretical. So thanks for joining us. And here is the link for their channel for anybody that wants to go subscribe to their YouTube to check out that rap. I think that's pretty adventurous of you there, Empathy.
It is really
So,
cool.
yeah, that's a very cool idea. We'll have to check it out. When you finish it, don't be shy. Send me a link. Like Rekkr and I will check it out. We put it here under 48 laws for you. We'll see. That is if you qualify for Rekkr's high standard in rap. Like he's my rap mentor, so I'm gonna leave it up to him. He definitely been teaching me so much about rap that I didn't know. Um like a crash course, and I'm really enjoying it. But definitely, we'll do a little review. It'll be fun if you're cool with it. Empathy. That should be. That's a good way to end it. I think we'll cut it there. We're just past the hour and a half. What do you say?
Yeah, I think that's
Unless
a
you
good
have
place.
more to add to this glorious subject.
Not that I can think of.
Oh, okay, then I'll just do my YouTubey things. What do you say? Like, I'll actually try to be a professional now. Yeah, okay, so if you haven't already, don't forget to like down below if you actually are down with the content. Like, if you like us, if you want us back, hit that like, share it around, see if you can get others involved. Subscribe if you haven't, you want to get notifications. But more than that, hit the back of these videos with the comments. Like, we want to hear from you. The interaction from everyone is the best part. Continuing the conversation, answering your questions, taking your ideas and suggestions. We want to hear from you, right, Rick? We're not going to shy away, and
Absolutely.
we answer every comment. So thank you for joining us. We'll hope to see you next Saturday. As far as channel updates, Monday is going to be James Craig trial, the review of the whole week that just went down. And then Tuesday is going to be the regular True Crime Tuesday night with multiple cases. But also on the 23rd and the 25th, we have two sentencings that are going to be live during the day. We've got the Brian Kohlberger out of Idaho, and we also have Lori Daybell out of Arizona. She'll be sentenced to both of her cases on that. So that's the update for the week. On Friday night, we have Black Mirror, and then we'll be back here on Saturday again with some more of the 48 laws. It's going to be a busy week for me. And you go back to
Yes,
class next week, don't you?
that I do.
Yeah, you do. So you're going to be pretty busy in a different way. In,
Mm-hmm.
in a different way. All right. So on that, I guess we say goodnight. What do you say?
Yes. Good
Yeah.
night.
Good night,
And
everyone.
I hope you have a good one.
Yeah. What's that we say all the time? Cheers. Cheers, all. See ya.
Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers.